and welcome back to the second episode of Shalom Y'all, where we break down New Testament scriptures in a Jewish context. And they should correspond with what we call the parashah readings for each week. And if you're wondering what that means, the parashah schedule is the weekly sections of the Torah that the Jewish people read. They read it at the same time every year. It's on a rolling schedule of 52 weeks, and each week has its own section. And everywhere all over the world, the Jewish people read the same text at the same time. And it's been that way for thousands of years. Thousands of years. It's a really, really unique tradition. If you want to follow along with the schedule to know where we're going to be each week, on www.nativiainternational.org, if you scroll all the way down the home page, you'll see this graphic. If you click on it, you have access to a PDF file of the Torah portions and also other scriptures that are relevant to each week's Torah portion. The PDF can be downloaded to put on your computer. It can also be printed out from your printers, and you can follow along with what we're going to be studying. This week, we're going to focus on a portion of what we call the Sermon on the Mount. And our lesson is, I've titled Turn the Other Cheek. It's just as simple as that. And it comes from Matthew 5:38 to 42. The Sermon on the Mount, of course, is the largest chunk of teachings that we have from Yeshua, and they're found in the Gospel of Matthew. And it's really the blueprint or the handbook for living the Christian life. That's, in a nutshell, what the Sermon on the Mount is. Jesus gives the crowd the ways to follow God in his kingdom. So let's go to Matthew 5:38 to 42. And again, I use the Jewish Annotated New Testament. That's the one I go to. It has the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible. I really like that one for reading. And we are going to read Matthew 5:38 to 42. I could put this stuff up on the screen for people to see, but I think it's very important to hear the Word of God read aloud. There's something about hearing it, somebody speaking the Word of God, that gives you a good, different perspective. Okay, here we go. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer, but if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also a 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs from you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. There are 3 points Yeshua is trying to make, and we will go through all 3. Now, what does he mean by turning the other cheek? What did he really mean? Did he want all of those people to be passive when somebody was attacking them? Don't put up a fight. Just do what everybody says. Don't make a scene. I don't think so. I think there's deeper meanings in each of the 3 points. So let's see. So what's the context behind this phrase, an eye for an eye? Because this is the first thing that Yeshua addresses. Well, that phrase, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, comes from the Torah. It's found in 3 places, in Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. And I think Leviticus, uh, it's in Leviticus 24:20. It reads the best. So let me pull that up and read it to you. And when I'm reading from the Torah or any of the Hebrew Bible, I'm reading the Jewish Study Bible. It's an excellent translation of the Hebrew Bible. I really enjoy it. And it has a lot of essays in the back, historical, philosophical, all sorts of very interesting additions in here that for interesting reading. So let's read Leviticus 24:20 here. I'm going to go back 1 verse to 19. If anyone maims his fellow as he has done, so shall it be done to him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. The injury he inflicted on another shall be inflicted on him. So that was Torah law, and it was put into practice by the Jewish people. If somebody stole your goat, you did not have the right to go steal the entire flock just because somebody stole one goat. Your retribution or your judgment would be that I can go and take a goat from the person who stole the goat from me, or I can get that goat back. It's just justified retribution, I think, is a good way to uh, identify that. The law was not about personal revenge on somebody who did something wrong to you. It was a legal principle for fairness. For a lot of the cultures in ancient time had very unbalanced punishments for crimes, small infraction offenses, uh, stealing bread or stealing food could or you could die. You know, that would be one of the more unfair punishments. And but in the Jewish world, if you stole a piece of bread, you know, you had to pay back, but you didn't pay back with your life. So eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth is fair judgment. Now, the rabbis in Yeshua's time, or the Pharisees, which were a sect of the Jewish religious world, we had the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and Zealots are a third group. But the Pharisees were the group that uh, leaned heavily on interpreting the law, and um, they had a skewed interpretation of eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. They were using it to twist it into the use of the law for personal vengeance, to get back at people, uh, to get more than they deserved from judgments. And so Yeshua is saying, again, it's not just eye for eye, tooth for tooth, but don't resist someone when they're trying to take advantage of you. Turn the other cheek. It's a strange statement. But Yeshua was calling his disciples to go beyond justice and respond with love and mercy. Instead of trying to get the most you could out of someone, be fair. That's the only just and loving way to be repaid. Now, let's go to this second phrase that he used in this small section. He says, turn the other cheek. What about that slap on the cheek? In Jewish culture, if you backslapped someone in the face, It was an insult, not just an attack. Grave insult. It was about humiliating someone. And also the retribution part of an eye for an eye was also about humiliation. Make the person feel just about as bad as they possibly could. Yeshua said, no, it's not about beating somebody up, slapping them on one side of the face and then slapping them on the other. It wasn't about the person who was doing the backhanding. It was about the person who was receiving it. He said, respond in a way that confronts an evil person with dignity. Expose their injustice without retaliation and show their true character by not resisting what's being done to you. If you want to insult me, go ahead. But I'm not going to stoop to your level to return that slap for another. It's about choosing honor over retaliation and revenge. Now, what is this about going the extra mile? Well, that was part of the Roman culture. Roman soldiers could conscript, I believe the word is conscript. That's a hard one to say. They could conscript any person to carry a load for them if they so chose. So they could be walking down the road with a big heavy load of anything and see a peasant on the street and say, you have to take this for me for a mile. And the non-citizen, really, it was peasants. Only Roman citizens were only Romans. Anybody they occupied were not citizens of the empire. They were the occupied peoples. So any occupied person could be forced to work for the Romans without pay. They were just made to work by force. So Yeshua says, if someone asks you to do that, do the amount that they've asked you to do, because that's just the bare minimum. But then, to show your character, take it further. Because going the extra mile shifts the power dynamic. So now instead of being forced, you choose to do something better. It turns that act of oppression for you into an act of service. And that really changes everything. It's very much in line with Yeshua's teaching about changing the world and the view of the world, not by force, but by love. So if you show someone who has a different viewpoint than you that I'm a compassionate, kind person, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be kind to you, and I'm going to help you, but you don't deserve this extra help, I'm still going to give it to you. That's very much showing love. So what does this all mean for us in the modern day? As believers of Yeshua, how should we implement this? There's a lot going on in our culture, a lot of vitriol, a lot of negative discourse, a lot of feelings of retribution. And in the social media environment, it's just rampant with viciousness, comments that are just terrible. Terrible language, terrible sentiments. So should we practice eye for an eye where we give equal justice? If somebody says something ugly to me, I'm going to say something ugly to them right back. Is that the way we handle that? I don't think so. I believe Yeshua says, don't respond. Don't give them the chance to put your character on trial. You know they're trying to get a rise out of you. Don't do it. It's very simple. If you have a hard time agreeing with something or disagreeing, if you hear something and you disagree with it, and you have a very hard time not commenting about what you disagree about, no matter what it is, we have to sit back and say, is it productive? Am I showing love to the person I disagree with? Is it productive? Is it worth it? Are we supposed to be passive and let people walk all over us? No, I don't think so. But we also have to treat others with kindness, mercy, gentleness, uh, patience. He's teaching us basically strength through self-control. And that is a hard lesson for this modern society. I need to control myself. I need to control this mouth. I need to control what my eyes see. I need to control what my brain is telling this to do. If we respond with love instead of a retaliatory feelings in our heart, then we're reflecting God's character. And we need to share that love and that dignity and that mercy with the world, because they're missing that. They don't know what God's love is like. They don't know what God's patience is like. It's our job to show them. And in our personal lives, this means we choose to overcome evil deeds, evil things that people do to us with good things. Somebody steals a coat or a phone, something, a piece of jewelry from you. It's okay to go to the authorities and say, I've had this stolen from me. I'd like you to find out who did this. What's not okay is to go overboard when they find that person and seek vengeance that's not in line with their crime. Yes, they stole your iPad. All you really want is that iPad back. And that's really probably all you should expect back from what happened to you. Yes, they stole your jewelry. Maybe they pawned it off. Really, all you should expect back is, if you can get something back, is the value for what they stole and not anything more. It's fairness. It's love. It's kindness. It's a generous spirit. It's a merciful spirit. We don't ignore injustice. We respond in a way that honors God and leaves room for Him to act in the situation. So, what do you think about all that? Eye for eye, walk the other mile, turn the other cheek. How do we apply it in our lives today? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Mark it in the comments below, because those are fun. Those are fun ways to get dialogues going. But you have to do it in a kind way. If you're mean in my comments, your just punishment is being kicked out. So, if this blessed you, share it with someone else. Like it on YouTube with the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything else that's happening in the world of Nativia International. And as always, be kind. Love people because they're God's creatures. And until next time, shalom, y'all. And thanks.
קומי אורי, כי בא אורך, וכבוד אדוני עלייך זרח. קומי אורי, כי בא אורך, וכבוד אדוני עלייך זרח.